What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Big J as usual. With my right hand man Kyle Evers as usual. The Red Sox fan. Boo. And correct me if I'm wrong. You're a Dodgers fan. When it comes to baseball, John.
I'm a Dodger fan 100%, man. I'm from Southern California. I love all the LA teams. I rock hard with all the LA teams. So, yes, you got a Dodger fan right here.
Yeah, so like you know how I set this up real nice, man. Like two Lakers fans against a Celtics fan, man. Like so
I can hold my own. It's all good.
But fellas, man, I mean, like the title of the show, long time coming. I mean, obviously, Kyle, you're no surprise you're on the show. But long time coming. We haven't really all of us haven't been on the show together, so it's been a long time coming. For Jonathan, man, we got a guest on the show. How you been, man?
I've been okay, man. I've been okay. I'm outside in the backyard enjoying this nice little breeze that we have today. It was supposed to rain here in Southern California, but you know how it gets. Our weather is very bipolar. You never know. 1 second it's gonna rain, next minute it's all sunny and nice out here. So I'm just enjoying myself and having a good time with you guys. Thanks for having me on.
No, for sure, man. Because I was telling Kyle that I had an off day, so you know what, might as well get some podcasting in, get some content in. So I guess it's first to start off with MLB. I'm not sure if you tuned into my other show last episode. We talked about the Shohei Ohtani, the whole the scandal. So you're a Dodgers fan. So how do you feel about that whole situation? As far as do you think Shohei should get little suspension for being involved, or should we wait for the whole investigation to end? Like, what's your whole mindset on this situation?
You put me in a tough spot because it's one of those stories that's really convoluted. It's really, really hard to say much about this because we don't have all the facts to the story. But you know how baseball feels about gambling, right? Baseball takes gambling very seriously. I mean, they punished Pete Rose years ago, right? They banned him from baseball for life. So people are like, well, if he's guilty, he probably should, get punished as well. But we don't know what the investigation is going to look like. We don't have enough information to really say. It's really a complicated story now. If he is found guilty of this, and if he did have anything to do with gambling, and if the interpreter's the fall guy, and this is all a big cover up and a big lie and all that other stuff, then yes, he definitely deserves a suspension. And I'm a harsh person, right? So I believe in harsh punishment. And if you do something like that, man, then I mean, double standard, right? You did Pete Rose, you got to do the same to the next guy. So I think a 60-game suspension, I mean, that sounds harsh, right? Dodger fans won't agree with that. But I mean, if he's guilty, you gotta suspend him. You can't just let him walk. But then again, we don't know. This is a different era. It's a different commissioner. Rob Manfred hasn't handled things consistently. We all know that he's not a very likable commissioner. So will that kind of come into play? Will that determine how this is handled if he is found guilty, and if he did tell a lie to the masses when he spoke to the media last week? Because like I said, there's so many holes to this story. It's so many holes. It's like Swiss cheese when you think about it. So, I mean, yes, I do think he should be punished. Absolutely. And I think it has created somewhat of a distraction around the team as well. Ohtani got his first home run last night. The place was electric. But has that affected his game mentally? Because he hasn't really been doing much. It's been other guys that stepped up. But to answer your guys' question, yes, I think he will warrant a suspension, and I think they could come down hard on him. But I don't think he'll get a lifetime ban, unfortunately, because he's the golden boy of baseball. And at the end of the day, guys, you want your best product on the field, and Ohtani is that guy.
So you say you're the Punisher. So you should be the sports Punisher, man. To the sports judge. No, but I mean, that's real coming from a Dodgers fan, because most people are he's not involved. Some people fans are so soft on Ohtani, which but you keep it real, man. And I mean, no shade on Ohtani. He's a spectacular, like you said, a golden boy of baseball. The Babe Ruth, modern day, he can hit and pitch. But like you said, like I made a post on Twitter on my account, like um, it was. I said that does this? I know he got the first home run of the season last night. I mean, do you think this distracts him a little bit, like this ongoing, lingering investigation? And he said it could be a dark cloud. But they, I mean, I mean, coming from the opposite division or um, division or opposite league, I guess you would say. 'Cause I mean, Dodgers are well suited for if there's a second. I mean, they got Freddie Freeman, they got Mookie Betts. I mean, so they're really have guys in the locker room that will have his back. Of course, the coach will have his back. Yeah, I mean, mentally I mean, with New York, the LA media, they're always tough on you. So I mean, I'm pretty sure 162 games season, every game he's gonna be asked this question or and I think we did talk about on the show last week, Kyle, that or maybe we didn't, but like, does this like, or maybe you were talking about it on your show with Aaron Riley and then like, does this really affect his career? Like when he like hangs it up, like they're gonna have this lingering like investigation and I did hear him talk about that in college. So do you have any new thoughts on that, or like do you think that
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Have to know what's going on with the investigation, because so far all we know is that they're doing one. We don't know what they've uncovered or anything like that. So all we can go off of right now is Ohtani's interpreter got into a bad way, got some money. That's all we know. We don't know Ohtani's knowledge of it. We don't know, if Ohtani did some gambling himself. So for right now, it's kind of tough to necessarily talk about his legacy or anything like that. So as long as he's out there and he's playing, he's going to be fine.
Man, who's in your line, man? He's a busy man.
Huh?
I say you a busy man, brother. I know. Go ahead.
I mean, it happens like every once in a while. Like you're randomly on and like random calls coming in. But so I feel like when he's on the playing field, he's in his comfort zone. And what you kind of see from Ohtani is he's not really a spotlight kind of guy, even though he does a lot of great things on the field. So this attention has to get to him, but it's going to have to stay that way until the investigation's over and his name's either cleared or we learn some not so good things about him.
Yeah, that's a good angle. Like I like how you said that. Like he doesn't take a lot of the spotlight, but I mean, I just thought of a wise quote from yours truly, Jordan, Big J. Shohei is not a spotlight kind of guy, but he takes up a lot of the spotlight. In a sense, like a lot of attention is towards him. It's kind of like the space, like stuff gravitates towards him when he doesn't gravitate towards other people. Like he's not really, low profile, doesn't really have social media like that. He might post once in a while here and there, but he's not really in the news like that. It's like the first time he's really been in the news. But yeah, he's not really a spotlight guy, and I agree with that. But he's a big spotlight everywhere you go, so but yeah, I mean, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon for this season. But like John said earlier, I mean, does this mentally break you down with the media trying to break you down of this? Because God forbid, if you were involved and had a little bit to do with it, then that media is going to go down. That media is going to go down on him hard, like a hammer. So but that's cool that you're in LA, John, or California, and you're kind of experiencing media firsthand. Yeah, I mean, and then also I just heard in the MLB that the Oakland A's will be now officially be moved to Vegas. So they're going to be I'm not sure what stadium they're going to be playing at for the foreseeable future until the stadium's built.
But playing in Sacramento.
Sacramento.
AAA stadium.
Oh yeah, I looked at the pictures. It
So
looks
bad in
like an
Oakland,
MLB.
they'd rather play in a AAA
It
stadium.
looks like an MLB, like the show stadium, like AAA. Like,
Well, if they're playing the AAA stadium, I mean, hey, no fans are showing up to the game, so it really shouldn't matter where they play because even if it's a smaller ballpark, I mean, hey, no one's really showing up. But I guess you can say that's what happens when you alienate a fan base.
Yep.
yeah, I mean, are there any like pictures out there of like the future stadium? I'm pretty sure there's like AI pictures on it. It looks nice.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, as they said they wanted to be done in 2027, but I think they said it's gonna be 2029, 2028, like for like the
2028.
final. So
Yeah,
2028. Well, they
2028.
said 2029 to get the extra year, I guess, to get everything right. But I mean, I don't know. Where are they gonna put? So I was gonna put it by the Raider Stadium because like on the strip it's so tight on
Do
the
you know
strip.
where the Tropicana casino is at?
Tropicana Casino. Is that new? This is New Vegas, right?
It's on the strip. It's like literally on the strip, but it's next to where MGM is at.
Okay, so it's on the
So it's
side
gonna
where
be
like
next. It's gonna be adjacent to the MGM Grand.
so that's where they do the UFC fights, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, some and then they have they have them at the Apex too.
I wonder how
Um,
that's gonna work though with a lot of traffic.
then they have that. Then they put that new Sphere. Like it's gonna be a lot of traffic there, and like so.
Yep.
I mean, they I guess they dealt with it with the Raiders. I mean, for now, but then I mean, they still have time to get the thing built, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
they have a plan in place. But it's gonna be a lot of traffic. I mean, with the Sphere looking thing, with the concert looking thing, because who knows, they might have some concerts going on around that time. But I mean, that's years down the line. But so, like, what do y'all think about that? Like, do y'all think that it's good for that fan base? Because obviously, a lot of players have been talking about, oh, the old stadium it was dirty, it was old, it was run down. The record was bad. So, do you think like moving to Vegas will kind of spark that team? I mean, who knows who's going to be on the team at the time? In a couple of years, but
Right.
and, like, y'all shaking your head. Now you don't think it's going to uprise that fan base?
It's
Oh, yeah, the
good.
money.
It's good for the owner's pockets. Okay, the owner
Yeah.
is the owner should be ashamed of himself for the way he has handled this entire debacle. I mean, because that's what it is. It's the debacle, and I feel like an entire fan base has been robbed of their baseball team because of corporate greed. That's all it is. That's the only reason why the A's are moving to Vegas because it's corporate greed. The owner is out for himself, nobody else. He doesn't care about the fans. He never did care about the fans, which is why the fan base is so angry and they've been protesting outside of the stadium instead of showing up inside the stadium. I think on opening day, they had a record of only 13,000 fans in attendance. I mean, that's nobody showing up to the ballpark. Nobody's coming to the ballpark because, for one, you don't have a great product on the field. I mean, I can't even name one player on the Oakland A's, and I watch a lot of baseball, and I can't even really name one player on the freaking roster. I mean, that's how bad it is. And
Yeah, I don't know anymore. To be honest,
the
bro.
fans out there are fed up. So, I mean, I'm sure it's gonna, create revenue for Vegas. Obviously, yes, it's gonna bring a lot of money to the city of Vegas. But what does this do for the organization as a whole? I mean, are you gonna be able to get those fans to rally behind your team if you move them there? Would you put a winning product on the field? It's not like you're going to move to Vegas and just suddenly magically have this very good team that contends in the AL West. I mean, you still got the Houston Astros that's very good. You got other teams in that West division that is better than the Oakland A's because last time I checked, they finished last place in the division, and they had the worst season a year ago. I remember they were stuck on 9 wins for so long during the regular season last year. I mean, it was just atrocious to see how pathetic and pitiful of a baseball team it was, and a lot of it has to do with the ownership. And fans have been begging for the owner to sell the team. They've been calling for him to put up the team for sale. They have even, pushed for a new stadium in Oakland. I remember seeing the renderings of a stadium. I believe it was a waterfront stadium that they had talked about, but it's unfortunately it's not going to come to fruition because the owner decides to move the team to Vegas for what? Money? For what? Revenue? To basically make it all about him. So that's why the A's are in the current situation that they're in. That's why they're not drawing in attendance. No one cares anymore because the owner doesn't care. So the fans are saying, you know what? We'll show you guys with our wallets. We won't show up. Instead, we'll protest.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for. I mean, maybe I don't feel bad, but maybe I feel bad for just like the time being of that fan base because they, I mean, don't get me wrong, they had some good players back in the day. Like they had Coco Chris. That's the only guy I remember. I don't want to I ain't trying to be funny, but Coco Chris is the only name that pops up in my mind that like, or
they had some others. They had some others. They had Barry Zito.
Miguel Tejada.
Yeah.
Yep.
Miguel
They have some names.
Yeah.
They have some names. Yeah, they had some. I believe Giambi, right?
Didn't they have Chapman at one point?
Yeah, they did. Third baseman, who I know personally.
I think he's on the Blue Jays, right? Right now, currently.
Yes. No, he's on the Giants. He signed with the Giants.
Oh, okay.
He actually took less money. The Blue Jays offered him more money, but he took less money to go back to the Bay Area. He just switched jerseys.
Yeah, I mean, but like to your point,
him on a personal level, really nice guy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's a really cool guy. Yeah. I mean, I don't know him personally, but
he went to my school. So when I was there, he was part of the team, and I was the beat writer covering the baseball team. So I used to talk to him on a regular basis. Really nice guy.
Yeah,
great work.
Yeah, I mean, seems like a cool guy. Like not really in the limelight of social media. Kind of like just plays ball.
Just plays ball.
So I sticking to the MLB. Like, what are y'all most excited for the season? I know baseball is in full swing. Literally, so we're a couple of series into the season. So, what are y'all looking forward to? I will go around the table. Of your teams. What are y'all most looking forward to, or just in general MLB? Like, what are y'all looking forward to for the season?
I mean, I'll say for me, it's like the NL West with. The Dodgers, the Diamondbacks. I think the Giants will be pretty good this year. And the Rockies are the Rockies, but I think it's going to be interesting to see how those top three teams kind of shake out. The Diamondbacks had that great season last year. They kind of snuck up on people this year. They can't really do that. So can they repeat that performance? You also have the Braves and the Phillies that are going to go at it in the National League East. I mean, the Mets are, once again, doing Mets stuff, spending money, not really performing well on the field. Mets fans are already up in arms. I mean, in terms of the Red Sox, I mean, they had a good season opening series against the Mariners, who I think are going to be much improved this year as well. They split with them. Then they swept the A's, but once again, not really much you can take from that, although their pitching has looked good so far. I want to see how Brian Bayo develops as he's kind of been thrust into the position of being the ace on the staff. So I want to see how he does as the season goes on, and hitters kind of get used to what he throws. He has a good changeup. He's got a decent fastball and everything. And Trevor Story, he kind of needs a big year in Boston because a lot of Boston fans are kind of turning on him because last year he had an injury-plagued year. So they want to see him get back to hitting home runs, driving in runs and everything like that. And he got off to a slow start, but he's kind of come on lately. So we'll see how the Red Sox can do. They're in a tough division. The Orioles had a great year last year. I mean, I can't even be mad at the Orioles because they had so many years where they were the cellar dweller in that division. But now all their young players have kind of grown up together, and they're kind of doing it the right way. So I can respect what they're doing. With Toronto, they're going to hit. It's going to be, can they pitch? That's what's going to come down to with them. And then, your Yankees are whatever. They're good now, but we'll see once the summer comes around how they do.
I mean,
and Tampa Bay, you can never count out Tampa Bay. They find ways to just win 90, 95 games, and you just look at their roster and just like, how do they do it? So there's definitely a lot,
team too, right? That's a low budget team in a small market, and every year they cease to amaze you because of the players they have, but that just shows you they have a pretty good farm system. They have a lot of great prospects that come up in that system, and they have a lot of guys, a lot of homegrown talent in Tampa, and they just always seem to be that team that surprise everyone. I think a team I'm excited about too is the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're young. They got off to a fast start. I know it's a small sample size, but I mean, they got a lot of young talent over there. They got a lot of great guys doing their thing. I'm excited about this. I don't know how it's gonna play out with Cincinnati, but I like that young cat that they have, De La Cruz. I think he's in for a big year. You look at the stars, man. There's just so many stars breaking out in Major League Baseball, and it's just great to see. It's great for the game. So those are some teams that I mentioned to be excited for. Obviously, the Dodgers with all the star power that they have, and Walker Buehler's going to be returning to the lineup sometime this year. We'll be glad to have him back. You got Tyler Glass now who's doing his thing. They traded for him in the offseason. So you got some arms, you got some depth in that starting rotation, which is really good because last season the Dodgers were thin in that area, right? And it cost them big time in the postseason. They really didn't have anybody they could rely on. I mean, they had Bobby Miller, but Bobby Miller was, tossed into the fire, and that was like a big stage for him to be on. And he showed that although he was poised for the moment, he couldn't really, survive on a big stage because it was just the moment was just too big for him at the time. Now this year coming in, I think he has a different mindset. I think he's more experienced. I like what I saw from him in his first start. He was dominant. He threw a masterpiece out there, looked really, really good. I mean, I know it's a small sample size, still early in the year, but as a Dodger fan, I am excited. I'm very excited. Mookie Betts is off to it. It's off. He's insane right now. He's on an absolute tear right now. I mean, he's putting on a clinic. Dude is hitting everything. Kyle, I don't know, man, as a Red Sox fan, you got to feel sick seeing what Mookie Betts is doing because you're like, man, damn it, I wish we would have kept this guy, in the Red Sox uniform. You know what I'm saying? And you see what he's doing over here in L.A., and you're like, what did the Red Sox do? That was one of the dumbest moves in franchise history to give up on Mookie Betts. But I'm excited for the season. There's a lot to look forward to. The Yankees are doing their thing. I know Jordan's a big Yankee fan. And, the Yankees need to do their thing because I'll tell you this. If they don't, Aaron Boone is gone. Aaron Boone is out of the door. So, I mean, there's no more excuses now. I mean, Garrett Cole is out right now. He'll be back sometime in May or June.
May, yeah. Yeah,
you'll get him back in your starting lineup. You got Juan Soto, who's going to want a big payday after this season. Are the Yankees inclined to give him that contract? Are they going to shell out that kind of money for a guy? Because he's demanding somewhere around $500 million, and this $700 million is ridiculous just because Shohei Ohtani got it. I mean, it's a different type of player. You know what I'm saying? But the Yankees, man, I mean, this is the year. I'm not saying you have to win it all. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what the expectations are. Do you have to win it? Is this the year they have to win it all, or at least get to the World Series?
I mean, I think for the Yankees, I think for the Yankees, it's all about
It's all
like
about
wins. It's all about wins and health. Because you want your star players to be healthy. I mean, like you said with the Pirates, it's like various sample. We're getting a sample, size of the season what's going to look like. And I know we started the season really strong with a sweep of the Houston Astros. I think we won the first game in Arizona, then we lost, and I think we played today, and then we played the Blue Jays. I think we played them at their house or our house because we haven't had a home series yet. But I mean, I think the expectation is, I think we got Juan Soto to make it to the big game. Soto is that like every time I talk to my friends and family about baseball, I always say that Soto is like the generate, like it's like football, man. Like you have Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert. You have in baseball, you have Vladdy, you have Soto, you have Tatis, the like generational players that you want to keep. I don't think and depending on how Soto does, he's having a strong year right now. Off the bat, like a couple home runs a season. OPS is off the boards, like on business is pretty good. But again, it's still a small sample size. But I think the Yankees would be so dumb to like just let Juan Soto go. And Juan Soto even said to the media like they know where to contact me. They know, so that's kind of like them saying that, like, that, it's kind of like he's not on a proven year, but because he's proven he can be a slugger. But I think it's just like, hey, like he's just showing them that, hey, you know where to find me. You know you have my number, obviously. So call me and make this deal. And hey, it's like in the NFL when a player when a QB does good on a contract year, his depending on how he does, his value goes up. So of course, it might be 300 now. And then in a month, it might be 400 mil. Depending on how good it goes up. So how the player does, the value of the player goes up. So, I think Stanton is on his last year, so we might let him go. Even though he's still a power bat, but he's kind of getting old with age. He's in a DH role. I feel like we can have another DH player. We got Verdugo. You can't forget about him too. Like Verdugo, like his defense this year is crazy. And it sucks because he was a former Red Sox player, so it's kind of weird of me talking about a Red Sox player. Huh?
Dodger.
Oh yeah, and a Dodger. Rizzo? I didn't know he played for the Boston Red Sox too. Anthony Rizzo back in the day before he went to the Cubs.
I think he was a prospect with the Red Sox. I don't think he ever actually made it to the big club. He's in their AAA system.
Yeah,
but like I guess my point is like Soto. It's a player. Once you have that player on that team, like you don't want to let him go. It's like Ohtani, like the Dodgers got Ohtani. Like, they let that Angels thing plan out. Then they grabbed him, signed to a long-term deal. That's a player you don't want to let go. Obviously, Soto doesn't pitch, but Soto's up in that upper echelon of players where a young like Tatis, like Vladdy, and now we see like the player like you just named on the Cardinals. What's his name? The one you just said, John from the Cardinals.
You talking about?
Yeah,
Cardinals.
Something Del Cruz.
Yeah, that's the Reds.
He's on the Reds. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, so like those players, you just don't want to let go, man. And then obviously we have our farm system. Like we have Spencer Jones coming up. We might bring him up. We got the Martian coming up from injury. Oswaldo Pereira or Oswaldo Cabrera stepping up. So we have players. I think it is our year. I think depending on how good we do, how deep we go, I think we signed Soto to a long-term deal. We all know Judge is the captain, but to have that, that young veteran player like Soto who knows how to hit. And I've always like watched the Yankees broadcasters talk, and they say like there's a new atmosphere at the team, like the attitude. After every hit, they're pumped. After every defensive play, they're pumped. Like I think I saw that Juan Soto throw to home plate. Like that was crazy. Like that throw. But yeah, Soto's Soto's a player that you don't want to let go. So I don't see the Yankees giving up on or like just letting him go like that. Obviously, they're gonna let the season pan out, see how he plays. And I like the Judge at center, man. Like he's good there, and the Verdugo to the left side. That's like an all-star, like caliber all-star team. Like
that's a great outfield.
That's a great outfield right there. So
yeah. Yep. Yeah, I like it too. I think he stays after this season. I think the Yankees will pay him. I think the
Yeah, the
fans have
question
kind
is
of
for how many years and how many. I mean to cut you off, but I guess the question is like how many years and it's how much money. Like
that's the question that remains to be seen, right? How many years and how much money? But
20,
yeah,
20 years,
a lifetime contract.
20 years, 10 trillion.
And then
Nah.
No,
20
I
years from
think that,
now, we'll be sitting here talking about how the Yankees still haven't won a World Series.
but you
Nah,
know,
but yeah,
Juan Soto's come in and he's certainly changed the dynamic there.
for
You
sure,
know,
for
you
sure.
you can see that he has, and the fans have gravitated to him. I think he has endeared himself to the city, the community. They already seem to love what they're getting from him. And you know, this weekend against the Astros, or was it over the weekend they played the Astros, right?
Well, I think they're currently playing the Diamondbacks, but yeah,
They
the first 4 games series was in
well,
Houston. Yeah,
okay, it was amazing what took place in that series
that's what I'm
because
saying. Like the
the
Soto throw the home
Astros,
plate.
man, the Astros, they were playing pretty well against the Yankees, and the Yankees went on the road, man. Right? The games were played in Minute Maid, right?
Yeah, they played at home. Yeah, at their
Yeah.
home. Yeah, they played at Minute Maid
They
Park.
were played it. And how often do the Yankees go into Minute Maid and beat the Astros? Like
I
They don't
mean,
do it in the
yeah.
playoffs. We know that.
it never really happened. So to see that, I mean, that was encouraging. But then you need the other guys to step up. You need everybody else to Glaber Torres. I need you. I need you to show up, dude. It's time for you to show up, produce, be productive. You need to get production from other guys in that lineup. And if you don't, I mean, it's going to be a long year for the Yankees.
Yeah, the only question I have really for my team is just like just the pitching. Not the starting pitching, but like just like the relievers.
Mm-hmm.
I know Cortez kind of looking shaky. Like he let the. I know he think he won. Well, he had to win the first game because he started. But yeah, I mean the only thing is it's the pitching. I know Louis Gill or he got bumped up to the majors. Had a good game against the Diamondbacks. I mean hitters like Volpe. Oh my gosh, forgot about Volpe. All these young stars, man, just you know, just helping us, man. I love it. I love it. And it's only April, about to be May, so I love it. I
By
mean,
July, they'll be hitting 215. It's all good.
I mean, we we are in position to have a good start of the season because we play the Blue Jays. I think they're 3-4. We played Marlins. They're like 0-7 the next series. I'm going to one of the games. But yeah, I mean, I think that I mean, it's so cliche for me to say this, but like, I think Soto was meant to be a Yankee, man. I mean, he has that dog in him, and I was so surprised that like the Padres let him go because I know, like, I don't know why he left. Because I know Tatis
The
had that
Padres
ban.
were a mess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
'cause
contracts
Tatis-
are a mess there. And the owner had just died. The owner who spent a lot of money, he died. And I heard, I don't know how true this is, but I read a report or I read an article that stated that the Padres had to take out loans to cover some of the contracts because of how massive some of the deals were. So I don't know.
So let's do like a because I know we don't really show MLB love on the podcast like that because MLB is like there's nothing really going on as far as all season changes. It was very slow all season for the MLB. I know Soto went to the Yankees, Montgomery, Snell went to the Giants. It was kind of slow. But let's do an early. Who's your World Series matchup?
Well, this may not come to fruition, but I'm going to say the Dodgers and the Yankees. I want to see that. I want to see that World Series. I've been waiting ages for that to happen.
I know Kyle doesn't. He's shaking his head.
That is my nightmare.
And I'm going to bill it as America's game because I think that's what the vast majority would like. You get that East Coast, West Coast vibe. You get two of these brand name clubs that are colliding in this big game. I mean, that would be epic.
It would be a series, but not a game. But I see what you mean.
Series. Yes, there you go.
Big series. Man, what if this World Series? I guess it will be. Well, when like, what if it wasn't one game? That'd be kind of crazy. If it was like one Super Bowl, like one game, or the World game one. I guess we would rather like
In all professional sports, right? Outside of football, NBA, NHL, MLB. If they had one game,
that would be
playoffs, yeah, that would be.
That'd be weird. 162 games playoff series to go. Just one game to decide it all.
That's true.
That'd be
true.
Crazy.
That's true.
That would take the fun out of it, huh?
Yeah, shoot. I think John took the Super Bowl or took the World Series out of him. I think Yankees and Dodgers. Barring if they're gonna all be the top of the standings.
I doubt that happens though.
Shohei, that would be crazy, man. Like,
that would draw the biggest rating.
Tickets would be out the roof for those games, man. All right, what about you, Kyle? What is your World Series matchup? Dream World Series matchup?
I'm putting the Yankees, you know that. So I feel like my original one. No, I've been thinking it's going to be like I would love to see the Orioles make the World Series, just to pay off kind of what they've done these past couple of years. I like some of their young talent. They got Burns in the trade late into the offseason. I feel like he's going to have big returns for them. So I'll take the Orioles in the American League. National League, this one might be a bit of a, going out there on a limb. I'm liking what the Giants are doing. So I'm going to go Orioles Giants in the World Series.
Orioles and Giants, wow.
I thought you were going to say the Braves. That's another team to look out for.
I mean, yeah, the Braves are good as well, but it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like there's something with the Giants. And the Giants kind of, when you're not paying attention to them, that's when they all of a sudden break through. And I feel like that there's just something weird going on with the National League. I could see the Giants breaking through.
And it's funny you say that because usually the team that wins is the team that we're paying less attention to.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's the wild card team that makes the most noise in October.
That's true. Like
so you could be on to something, Kyle.
Who's in the World Series? Diamondbacks and Rangers.
Diamondbacks, and see, they beat the Dodgers in the first round of last year. And the rookie Corbin Carroll, man, he was just sensational.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean I see where you're coming from. Two teams that haven't been talked about lately, and that's a good. What's their record of Giants?
I really
the Orioles are good.
I like the Orioles a lot because they got a lot of young talent. I like what's his name? Anthony Santander. I like him.
Mm-hmm.
I like Gunnar Henderson, Austin Hayes. I mean, you got young guys, but you got guys that's coming up on big paydays. So it's going to be interesting to see how they keep that core together. And hopefully they can figure out a way to keep that core together because that's just an amazing team. And we saw it last season, them winning 100 games. I mean, it was just incredible. The fan base is awesome. You saw the bird baths and, the water hose thing. And it was just a lot of excitement and buzz around that city last year. And it's going to be that way again this year. And then Kyle added the fact that you got Corbin Burns now, who's one of the best pitchers in this game. He goes in there and he becomes the ace. And he had an amazing outing in his first outing in his debut with the team. So, yeah, I definitely can see the Orioles going deep into the playoffs and possibly getting to the World Series. Absolutely.
Yeah, the Orioles are they're good, and they have a lot of young farm system guys like Jack Holiday coming in. I thought he was going to start, but I guess they bumped him down to AAA. But because he's still young, So, but yeah, I like the move by Corbin Burns. But y'all gonna laugh at me. But imagine, well, it's not gonna be funny. But imagine that Baltimore's doing good, and then Baltimore Ravens are doing good, which they always do. That chapter around there, it's gonna be crazy. the traffic around there, man. Lamar Jackson, like, because
don't lump the Orioles in with the Ravens.
Don't the seasons like merge at some point, like September, I think. So it's gonna have So it's gonna
because baseball playoffs go into October.
Like October, yeah. So imagine like both teams are doing good, or start doing well, and then like they have a big happy city of football, like in baseball. Because it's been one side. The Ravens have been good, Orioles have been kind of like Ravens, or now it's kind of like, which is good. So so now let's move on to another sport. Basketball, not NBA yet. College basketball, March Madness. You want to talk about women's first, or you want to talk about men's first? I guess women's is gaining more traction.
Better than me.
Ladies first.
It's Iowa and UConn, right?
Iowa and UConn, yes. Paige Beckers versus Caitlin Clark.
Is NC State still in there? Is NC State still in there?
NC State, South Carolina.
South Carolina. So John, man, like one of the reasons why I wanted to add you onto the show as well, because you were talking a lot about Angel Reese, man.
Yeah, I know.
I wanted to bring you on the show, man, because like now you can tell the fans like your perspective on like the whole thing, because like, I mean, a lot of people have been like tearing you down in the comments, like, oh, you like you're this and that. Like, I'm like, so I want the world to like know like so you can just get off your chest, man. So I think the injuries she's a good player, and I feel like a lot of people have just been like, hey, she's a thug, she's that, she's this, she's that. Nah. But so what are your views on Angel Reese, man? Like LSU.
A lot of people, they took what I said out of context, and the reason I said what I said about her wasn't to label her a thug. That was other people saying she was a thug. I think that's a very ignorant statement to call someone a thug. For one, you don't know her. You never met the girl. You're saying she's a thug because to me, when you use the word thug, and we often use it loosely, right? It's a word that we use too much in our vocabulary. It's overused. It's not used properly. When I hear the word thug, or when someone calls me a thug, or when someone calls Angel Reese a thug, to me, that is the politer term of the N-word. You're basically calling a person the N-word to me. So when I see comments like that, or when I see somebody saying someone's a thug, to me, it's like, okay, we know what you're about. We know what you're trying to say. You're just looking for a politer way to say, oh, she's the N-word. She's this, she's that. The problem that I had with Angel Reese, and it wasn't her game, because I love the hell out of her game. I respect the hell out of her game. I love her competitiveness. I love her confidence. I love her ability to perform. I know I didn't acknowledge all of that because I was more on the attack mode. And the reason why I was in the attack mode is because of her actions on the floor and the trash talk. I mean, to me, I'm a type of person, I'm okay with trash talk to a certain extent, but when you go overboard with it kind of becomes a turnoff to me, and instead of being confident, then I kind of sit back and look at that, and I take it as you've been arrogant. You come off as being really, really cocky, and to me, that's a turnoff. And that was my only issue with her. But other than that, I love the hell out of her game. I think she has to mature a little bit more. I think she has some growing up to do, and I did say that as well. We all have growing up to do, right? And I just feel like she has to mature a little bit more. Less talking. Just go out there, girl, and just show the world what you all about. You can still be confident, but you don't have to rub it in people's face or rub people the wrong way or come off as this person that's cocky and arrogant. Because look, Jordan and Kyle, when you do that, when you act like that, this is what happens. People label you, especially being a black person. Come on now. There's certain things we can't do in the public eye because we're going to be called out for it. We're going to be criticized for it. Oh, this dude's an N-word. Oh, this dude's a thug because he's behaving a certain way. Oh, he's ghetto because he shows his emotions, or he's acting like that. you look at Stephen A. Smith and you look at some of these other white broadcasters, right? They can yell and scream, right? What do they call that? Oh, when they do it, it's passion, right? But when Stephen A. do it, oh, he's a fool. He's just screaming. He's making himself look like a lunatic on national TV. So you see what I'm saying? It's certain things, unfortunately, that we can't do because we'll get called out for it differently. So that was my only issue with Angel Reese, is like doing all this and doing all that. And I know Caitlin Clark did it too, but you don't hear anybody talking about Caitlin Clark doing it. Why? Because she, obviously, she's a white girl, right? So I'm just being straightforward, But when Angel Reese does it, it's like this. But girl, you gotta chill out. You can't be doing all that because the media is gonna take it the wrong way. They're gonna have a different perspective about it, and that's all I was saying. So I was just saying that I think she needs to just humble herself a little bit more, just chill out, and just go out there and play the game and do her thing. But I wish her all the best. I know she declared for the women's NBA draft, and I wish her all the best moving forward. And I think she'll do a damn good job at the next level because she is a great player. And I wasn't ignoring that. I just think the attitude that she shows out there on the floor, or that she has shown, it kind of overshadowed her game and her ability to play the game at such a high level.
I mean, look, I've done a couple of videos on it. I've gotten some comments from people that you kind of know where people stand with this, and where they're coming from is from a form of hate that I feel like it is just unwarranted, because you'll see a lot of people say, oh, she's only relevant because of the feud with Caitlin Clark. Now, mind you, she averaged 23 and 18 last season when they won the title. That speaks for itself. She comes back this year, averages 18 and 14. They get to the Elite Eight, lose to a really good Iowa team. So a lot of these people who are, joyous that they lost because obviously because of Kim Mulkey and everything like that, LSU was branded as the team you have to hate. I get it. It's kind of like that with all sports. I'm a Patriots fan. The Patriots were that forever. You kind of see with the Chiefs now, where a lot of people hate the Chiefs. A lot of people hate the Yankees. It's just part of sports. But when she sits there after the game, talks about how this past year was tough for her, and now you have people acting like you brought it on yourself, you deserve this. I'm sorry. I don't understand where we're in a world that somebody deserves death threats. I've seen people talking about, well, you're in the public eye. That comes with the territory. That doesn't mean it's right. And a lot of people are just rationalizing their hate towards her by projecting it as she brought this on herself. And look, if she trash talks, anybody who's played basketball on a street court or whatever, trash talk is part of it. When I played, I was trash talking. I loved it. I loved when people came back at me. So to sit here and act like her trash talking in the women's game is the most disrespectful thing they've ever seen, maybe it's just who she is. And you kind of got to deal with it. Draymond Green does it in the NBA. Now, Draymond Green goes overboard and, clotheslines people. We haven't seen Angel Reese really do that yet. But there is a space where she's allowed to trash talk as long as she backs it up. Like I said, if you're going to average 23 and 18, take your team to a national title, that's backing it up for me. So I feel like it was just once again a chance for people who don't like her to come down on her, because in a moment where obviously the next day she declares for the draft, she realized the emotion of that loss. That meant it was the last time she was going to wear that LSU Tigers jersey. That's the last time she may play on the same team as some of her teammates at LSU. That's a lot to take in at that moment. So she goes to the press conference and she lets us know how tough her year's been, because that's really hard for somebody who's 21 years old, juggling school, juggling basketball to also have to deal with this on the back end because she won a national title and people didn't like the fact that her or her school beat Caitlin Clark, who is, been elevated to like, she's the player you have to root for. She plays at Iowa. That's the Midwest. That's like the heart of the country. She does it the right way. She shoots from 3. She does all this. And that's not even hating on Caitlin Clark, because love watching her play as well. But it's just unnecessary to sit here. And let's be honest, a lot of these are men coming at her. I'm not going to say it's like all white men, because I've seen some brothers out there criticizing her. Emmanuel Acho, Mr. Enunciate with your glasses on. I saw you. I left a comment under his video and it got banned. So I was like, you're going to sit up here and talk about your gender neutral, racial indifferent take. It's like, bro, you could have just said what you said without the qualifiers. Jason Whitlock, who we know, he's like the groundhog. He's that groundhog that he has to pop up out of the ground every once in a while to let you know he's still around. He's still talking his stupidity. Like, for him to talk about that he's only, she's only relevant because of the feud. It's like, now you're completely diminishing what she's done on the court to a simple gesture to her ring finger. And it's like, those two have become like elevated in certain circles because certain people, whether it's racism or misogyny, just don't like her. I mean, and this comes from last year where they questioned her in her upbringing because of the ring finger thing. Yeah. So she does the ring finger, and all of a sudden her parents are awful. She wasn't raised right. Like, you need to calm down with this. And I mean, isn't she from like the Baltimore area? Not exactly. Not exactly a weak area to play. So she's probably developed this from playing on the streets of Baltimore. So you kind of have to understand like where she's coming from and maybe why she plays the way she does. And look, that is probably why she does play the way she does, where she's tenacious around the rim. Like, she grabs offensive rebounds, she grabs defensive rebounds. I've seen people talking about she's lazy and all this. Whatever. Like, once she makes it to WNBA, you're now dealing with being a professional. She'll have teammates who will push her. She'll have coaches who will push her. And she'll probably become a better player. But the way she's being treated right now is ridiculous. I can't stand it. I'm still seeing people commenting under my video stuff like, she's forgettable, she's this and that. And trust me, I'm going at every one of them because I got time. I'm not going to let these people think that they're going to come on my video and talk their stupidity. I'm just going to let it go. That's just how it is, though.
She's projected to go to the Chicago Sky, I heard. So that would be
pretty forgettable that she's projected as a top 10 pick in the draft.
Right. So that says a lot about her and who she is. And I think, I've come to this understanding that she's outspoken, that she's unapologetic, and that she's just been who she is. So, but that was my take on it. Nothing about her being no thug and all this other stuff that she's good. And, I think that's just crazy, to me. Mm-hmm. But that's why we have to present ourselves. It's unfortunate that we have to present ourselves a certain way to avoid being called a thug or the N-word. To me, that's
no. And like, before I go, say my take. I see a lot of people, viewers on Twitter. If you're like watching, I see 9 people on Twitter, which is awesome. But I can't see your comments. I don't know, for some reason Streamer doesn't like Twitter see comments. So if you want to go to the YouTube channel, JJL Sports Talk, definitely where you see NBA
Twitter comments are supposed to come through.
I don't. Yeah, my Twitter comments aren't coming up.
Yeah, but see, you got to remember too, guys. A lot of those guys are keyboard warriors, so they're tough behind the keyboard. Who knows where they're typing that stuff. They could be in mom's basement typing that stuff.
Just like on StreamYard, it doesn't let me
see the screen, breathing hard and stuff, typing away and saying all this other nonsense that they don't have no clue what they're saying. Anybody's tough, but if they saw her on the street, I bet you they'll turn the other way.
I was saying on StreamYard it won't let me My boy T Brazy, he's on my Twitch. He's I'm a keyboard banger. My boy T Brazy. No, like we're talking about Angel Reese, like the LSU. But like, yeah, I just want to say, like, yeah, I can't. If you're commenting on Twitter, I can't see your comments. So just go on my YouTube channel, JJ Sports Talk, or like T Brazy is on my Twitch, or JJ.
And here's another thing too.
Great.
To classify an entire team as thugs because one person acts a certain way, that's ignorant too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it
Feeling
just doesn't.
good, T Brazy.
I get it. Kim Mulkey is not a likable character. I get it.
No,
but that doesn't mean you have to just character, because we saw this at Baylor. You know, Brittany Griner got a lot of hate at Baylor when Kim Mulkey was there, shockingly because of Kim Mulkey. You know, Brittany Griner didn't fit the template of a women's basketball player. So it's unfortunate that's something where as more men probably watch the women's game, it's going to continue. For all we know, once Angel Reese moves on, a lot of these people probably don't watch the WNBA. They might turn to Juju for all we know. They'll find something about her that they don't like, and they'll start attacking her.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just going to keep moving on to a different player who gets elevated to a certain level. They're going to try to knock them down. That's just what they want to do.
That's why it's important to keep yourself clean and try to stay as private as much as you can, because once they get inside your life story and they find one little thing they can nitpick at, that's it.
No, yeah, my take on it is just like I don't know, like I think y'all both hit it like on the nail. It's just like I don't know, like how I said, like Draymond Green, obviously he's in the NBA, grown man, and he gets suspended or he gets ejected like 4 minutes into the game, but without the tip off even starting. So like, but Angel Reese she can't, talk crap or, I just don't get the hate, and it's gonna come and like Kyle said, like. If you play pickup basketball or just any sports, like you're gonna talk shit. I mean, there's gonna be shit talking. Like back in the '90s, people want to refer to the '90s, '80s basketball. There was shit talking all the time. Like Rodman, the whole Rodman Malone, just like stepping over each other. Like the Allen Iverson stepping over Ty Lue. This is people are gonna be disrespectful. But we've all known that men's basketball over the years has been more popular than men or women's, but this is like these past couple of years, like have proven that Caitlin Clark, Juju, Andrew Reese, they make the game enjoyable to watch, and like it shouldn't have to come down to Andrew Reese coming on air in a press conference say, "Oh, I've been considering death threats." Why death threats for what? Being herself? And yeah, you're right. She does come from Baltimore, so she has that that the hood mentality, because Baltimore, has a persona of being the hood in some most parts. And like it's like Lamar Jackson, like whoever that reporter was he's too quarterbacky for me or blacky for me or whatever the reporter said. Like, I mean, so you're expecting the quarterback just to be like the standard Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan. I mean, like what I think last year was like a playoff full of black quarterbacks, Mahomes, Hurts, But back to Angel Reese, I just don't get the hate, man. I mean, yeah, last year she did the rain me. I mean, Caitlin Clark did the same thing in Haley Van Lee's face when she was at Louisville. But I can see the hate if Angel Reese talked the talk and couldn't walk the walk, but she can do both. She's a hooper. She can talk shit and back that shit up. Like it gets me mad talking about it because like it's just like, especially as a woman, a black woman at that, you're already getting harassed by men and other people and just for being the color of your own skin. But like you just can't. I think that people want players to like WWE, like have a script. Like basketball, NBA, there's no script. They actually play. They actually nothing WWE. They don't train and stuff like that for like the. But let's not lie to ourselves. WWE is a script. They know who's gonna win. I guess the producers know who's gonna win. But in basketball, it's unpredictable who's gonna win, and I just don't get it. Like the hate, and it shouldn't come down to so many threats where she's feeling this type of way of like, hey, I can't be myself around my other people. I just don't get it, man. And
I don't get.
obviously, yeah, they lost. Yeah,
I don't get. But
like
you
they
know what?
lost to
I laugh
Iowa.
at their threats, though. I laugh at them. You know why? Because those same people that threaten to kill you, or I'm gonna kill your family, I'm gonna do this and that, they ain't gonna do nothing. They're just talking. They're just acting all tough. So when I hear death threats, although they say to take it seriously, I never take them seriously because you're probably halfway in another part of the country anyway, talking all that crap from behind your computer screen. So I mean, when I see that kind of stuff, I just laugh at it. It's like what happened to that player that put the hit on Travis Hunter when Colorado was playing Colorado State. Remember that? And he received all those death threats that had Travis Hunter that left Travis Hunter sidelined. Remember? And the next day he was getting death threats. They were saying that he should be kicked out of the school and all this other stuff. I mean, God, that to me, that's when we cross the line. To me, that's when it's out of pocket because these are human beings at the end of the day, and they have feelings too. So when you start threatening them and their families and stuff like that, to me, that's when you're taking it too personal, and you're getting too far carried away with it. To me, so I that's where I draw the line. When you start making threats, calling people N-words and all this stuff, and making racist comments, that's where I draw the line, But I will say this, guys, before we move on or whatever. I will say this, but black people and I mean this might sound deep hearing this, but black people will always be accepted in sports as long as they can entertain.
Damn, that is.
I just have to throw that out.
No. Like no,
they may not like us. They may not. They like the form of the entertainment. That's all they care about. Because look what happened to DeMar Hamlin when he went down with the injury. People were saying the man was dead. What are you guys talking about? And most of those people saying that was anti-vax.
And people still say he was. It's a doppelganger of him.
Yeah, they used to say he's like AI or something. Yeah.
Oh my God, man!
And then they were making insensitive remarks about it. This is a dude that damn near lost his life, and you guys making insensitive comments about it. So
sports can be very fun to talk about. Can be fun to watch, but some sports fans are just two-faced. Like as I mean by that is like the Mar Hamlin situation, like. And it sucks, like, because I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I'm a grown man, but I was balling out. Like, damn, like he lost his life. Like, cause at one point I thought he did. And people were like, oh, like pouring like tweets, and then when he's alive and well, he's recovered. They want to say, oh, is that really him at the Bills game? Like, is that really him? But so why are you gonna give the man his flowers? When he's at the hospital and hope he recovers, then when he's fully 100%, 80%, 90% good, healthy, they're coming out saying, "Oh my God, is this him? He's fake. Oh, he's dead." Oh, and he was at the freaking. Wasn't he at the awards show, live and flesh in the skin? Like that's crazy, man.
No, I didn't mean to cause it controversy, but I wanted to throw that out there. I just had to throw that out there.
No, like you're 100% like like we as black athletes, like just like a couple years ago with the whole shut up and dribble thing, like with the whole LeBron thing, like they're expecting media people are expecting the player just to play basketball, but they can't speak their minds. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why like LeBron did that movement, like just an athlete or something like that, some movement of just or more than an athlete, my bad. More than an athlete. Where, it gives like players, not just him, players like, speak out on things. And players, I mean, obviously they make a lot of money. They get the endorsement deals, but obviously, I mean, they still can speak their mind on things. And if
Well,
something
that that
great.
that was a bit deeper than just athletes speaking out.
Well,
That
yeah, I know.
was that was
Social
strictly
injustice.
politically charged. Where yeah, they fine with you talking about stuff as an athlete, but they don't want you to talk about certain things
Yeah,
because
like stay in your
that
lane type
doesn't
of thing.
yeah, because that doesn't match certain sides of the aisle in terms of politics. Like if you want to come out and say, I stand for the anthem, you'll never get pushback for that. But you say something outside of that, then that's where the problem becomes. And I was gonna say one last thing with Angel Reese, because also the talk about her being sexualized and all that. So now the hate is because she's marketable, and people want her to do, you know, um, swimsuit shots and stuff like that. So because of that, she's not supposed to do that. She's supposed to keep it covered up and everything like that. It's like, come on, it's 2024. She's marketing herself. Get over it. That's the only thing I was going to add to end.
I mean, they got a sexy red doing things like, come on now, like,
hey, if you sit during the national anthem or you stay in the locker room, that's disrespectful to the military now. All of a sudden, that's disrespectful to the military.
Even when the military veteran, like before Colin Kaepernick did it, he actually confirmed with it. Is this okay to do? So I don't know, man. I don't know.
But it doesn't matter.
But let's get to the comments.
It doesn't jive with certain political views. Because look, Megan Rapinoe's gotten a lot of hate because she's outspoken. Yes. And she happens to fit into another category that a lot of people don't like around the country. So she gets a lot of hate. Yeah. And I commend people like Megan Rapinoe, Angel Reese and them who kind of do their thing amongst all that and still continue to perform well. So, I fully believe Angel Reese will do well in the WNBA. I do wonder, how she might do against certain players, like Asia Wilson and stuff like that. But, I'm not going to say she's going to go there and just become a complete bust or a bum or something. She's got to develop a little bit, but that's where I'm like, if you want to criticize her game, knock yourself out. But I haven't seen one person criticize her game necessarily in all this. They'll like attack her character and then be like, oh, she's not even that good. It's like, no, that's not what you really feel. You just don't like her, the person.
Right. So I want to confirm. So you were okay, Kyle, with a year ago, her doing like the ring. Like you were
loved it.
Perfectly fine. I loved it too, man. I just didn't get the
do more.
Do more. Like, yeah.
Count the crowd. I don't care.
So I guess not to like talk crap on y'all, but like just the people who were talking crap about her doing that. I mean, is Aaron Donald a thug for doing that? Because I mean, he won a ring, but is he a thug for doing the ring me? I mean, nah. Like, is this him being competitive?
Well, nobody said anything about him doing it.
Aaron Donald's likable.
Well, yeah, he's likable. Yeah. Right. I feel like Angel Reese is likable, but it's just like she's very.
Yeah, but the perception is she's not.
Yeah, she's not.
Aaron Donald, the perception is he's a pro. He got that ring. He deserved it for all the hard work he put in. For her, it was she's not even that good. Whatever. She just bullies people on the court. I don't respect it. That's where all this is going.
That's the perception of her. That's how people characterize her as this villain.
Yeah.
That's how people classify her. Kyle was right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, let me go to the comments real quick. What's up? This is a comment. This comment was what's up? Y'all keep going. What's up? Mo came to the building. What's up, guys? NC State are about to go home, but great season. Angel Reese is a talented player, but in some ways her persona has been bigger than her game. I think he's agreeing with you with your take. I'm with you to a point, but if you're being anything less than yourself, the racist wins. My boy Brady came in, and yet they seem to attack a type. Like let SC match up with Iowa again. This era traded with trash talking for flopping. I think he's agreeing with your point. But that's a good take. And then last one, diversity and inclusion translates to handout or lazy with certain types. Yeah, Mo's bringing that heat, man, in the comments. So yeah, I definitely agree. So what do you think is going to be in the championship? It's going to be. You think it's going to be Iowa and South Carolina?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think South Carolina, I picked Iowa to win it all. I really did, but I don't know. Looking at that South Carolina team, man, and the way Don Staley coaches them and everything, and how and their size advantage and what they've done thus far, I don't think anybody's beating that South Carolina team at this point. So I'm changing my pick. I had Iowa winning. I know Caitlin Clark has been out of this world. She's amazing. You know, you talk about her range, her athleticism, her ability to move with or without the ball. But I don't think that's going to be enough against that very good South Carolina team that is exceptionally well coached by Don Staley. She's done an amazing job with that program. So give me South Carolina.
Yeah. Don Staley. I mean, I've seen videos of her, like of her players talking, and then like I think the point guard was like, "Oh, we did good," and Staley was like, well, they outscored us by like 17 or some video. Like, so she keeps her players in line. Yeah, I mean that it's gonna be a good one. I did have Iowa winning it in one of the brackets. I mean, but yeah, I didn't think about their defense, man, on South Carolina. I mean, I think Don Taylor will have them girls ready. Kyle, what do you think about what's going to be the final?
No, I got South Carolina. They've been the best team for a couple of years now. They seem primed and ready. And with Iowa, I wouldn't necessarily count out UConn for knocking them off, but I think Iowa probably gets that one. I think something that we'll have to see is with Caitlin Clark, she kind of gives away what she's going to do because she likes shooting, dribbling to her left. So every time she dribbles to her left, she'll take like one or two dribbles and she'll pull up. When she goes right, she's looking to pass. I feel like, a lot of people looked at LSU's game plan and wondered how come they didn't really adjust to that. I have a feeling that Don Staley will have her team ready to attack Caitlin Clark off of screens and everything like that. So, yeah, I'll definitely take South Carolina to win that one.
Oh, so to win that game or just to win it all?
I think South Carolina wins it all.
Okay. And then let's go to the men's side, and then we have two more things to talk about, or two more sports, NFL and NBA, real quick. And then for the men's side, we have NC State, we have Purdue, UConn, I believe, and then
Alabama. Yep.
So who do y'all? So who do y'all have winning? I think UConn is going to win it all, man.
Yes. NC State's run has been nice. It's been a storybook season for them. I mean, they come into this tournament. What did they do early on in the tournament? They win 7 games in 11 days or something like that. Kevin Keats gets my respect. I mean, I have the utmost respect for him. Class act. This is a guy who was on a hot seat. And now we're talking about a team that's suddenly in the Final Four. It's amazing. It's been an incredible run. I like DJ Horn. I think, man, I think he's a fun-loving player. People seem to love him. They gravitate to him, and he's just doing his thing. He took the spotlight in this tournament, and it's been all about him. And then you got DJ Horn. I mean, you got guys that can shoot. You got Michael O'Connell, but I think their run comes to an end. I think the team that they're about to play is obviously scary good, and I think this is where they run into a situation where that glass slipper will finally crack. You're playing a very, very good Purdue team. Zach Edey is the best big man in the country, arguably. I think Alex Clegan, I said his name wrong, Clegan, I think he'll have something to say about that, though. UConn's big man, he's been amazing. But Zach Edey and Purdue, I think, will be a bit too much for NC State. And, their guards have come out of nowhere. They just started shooting the ball extremely well. So I like Purdue to win. And then on the other side, UConn versus Alabama. Alabama can put up a lot of points because they like to score. They run this up-tempo offense. I know their coach Nate Oates puts an emphasis on offense, and I mean, they've been stellar. Mark Sears is one of the best guards in the country. But you're going up against a very good UConn team that can beat you in a variety of ways. UConn has size. They have strength. Mm-hmm. They have playmakers. They have stellar guard play. They have arguably the best big man, too. Zach Edey will obviously have something to say about that. But I really like Clegan a lot. I went blank on his first name, but he's a big man. He's been finally healthy and has been just dominant on the boards, out rebounding everyone, swatting shots, making shots. They can post up, they can score from the outside. And if you want to play small, they'll say, okay, we can play small too. If you want to play big, okay, we can play you big. So I think Dan Hurley will have his guys ready. And I think by the time Monday night comes, it'll be Dan Hurley's team versus Matt Painter's Purdue. And we will have one hell of a game. And I think UConn takes it all.
Yeah, I agree. I have UConn taking it all. I think for NC State, speed up Purdue. I feel like that would be their best bet. Pressure them in the backcourt, make them force some turnovers. I think get Edey running up and down. I mean, that's a lot because Burns is a bigger guy, but Burns is very light on his feet.
Wait, you said bigger as Burns because he's like 7'6". Do you mean for
Burns? Because Burns, if you look at him, you worry about playing up and down conditioning wise, but
he's more.
He plays a lot of minutes, and I think that's what NC State needs to do. Try to get Purdue to turn the ball over, get some easy buckets, because for Purdue, NC State has to keep the game close or have a lead late, because for Purdue, that's when the pressure turns up for them. I'm not going to count NC State out. It's just that if Purdue's able to play their pace, Edey's going to be way too tough for Burns and Diarra, because Diarra has the height and length, maybe, but he's not a big body, so Edey will body him under the rim. If for Burns doesn't have the leaping ability or anything to really contest him, Burns is going to have to push Edey away from the rim and force Edey to try to make plays from a little bit outside of his comfort zone. I mean, I feel like the more I talk about it, I think NC State can pull it off. I'm going to go with NC State to do it. And then Alabama's fun to watch, but UConn is just, offensively, they've got it. Defensively, the coaching's been perfect for them. I think if Alabama had any other team to go up against, I'd probably go Alabama. But this UConn team, nah, I can't do it. And I do have UConn winning it all. They're just they're the most dominant team in the country.
Yeah, I think.
So, although I will add this, I think as competitive as Alabama is, I think they will keep it close. I think this is the one game where UConn will have it very tough. I think they will challenge them and keep this game fairly close. I think we're in for a great Final Four. And I looked up Clegan's first name. It's Donovan Clegan. That's who I meant to say. There we go.
Yeah, I will say that the keys for every team that's in the Final Four is to get their key big men in foul trouble. I mean, if you get Duke had DJ Burns in 3-4 fouls, I think. I think the Dihara had 3 or 4. So in order for, if they don't have 0 fouls all game, DJ Burns is gonna take over. Edey, if he gets in foul trouble, it's gonna limit them because the coach is gonna have to sit them for because in the NBA there's 6 fouls and in the college there's 5 fouls. So if you get 4 fouls, if you get 2 in the first half, you're probably out for the first half, or maybe out and then come back in for the tail end of the first half. But yeah, I feel like for every team that has a big man, get that big man in foul trouble. If NC State can somehow try to get in Edie's head and get him in foul trouble early, I mean, that's a 7-6 big that you can eliminate from the game. I mean, that then it's now small ball, but Edie Burns, like, I mean, as a Duke fan, Burns, he had a bad first half, but he picked it up because our defense, obviously, Filipowski got fouled out, but he's just taking over. So if you let DJ Burns take over, oh my gosh, man, it's just
Filipowski was never going to do anything with Burns. That was Filipowski. That's a tough matchup for him. It was always going to be that way.
I'm just saying.
I didn't understand Filipowski offensively. I think he played into DJ Burns way too much.
Yep, he didn't show up at all.
Burns was in foul trouble. Wasn't he at 3 or 4 fouls?
The only person that showed up for Duke was Jarrett McClain. He was the only one that showed.
And McCain went a long stretch where he disappeared.
And you can't forget about Roach too.
No, Jeremy Roach didn't play well.
Roach didn't do much of anything.
He didn't do much of anything at all. It was mainly Jarrett McClain. Jarrett McClain was the only one that showed up. He had 32.
Filipowski kept facing up DJ Burns and then trying to go at his body for some reason. I could not understand that. I thought Filipowski was supposed to have like a 3-level scoring mentality, and he just went away from it. It seemed like he wanted to prove a point that he could out-muscle DJ Burns, and that just played into it.
Yeah.
So
he kind of did what Lamar Jackson did in that playoff game. Lamar Jackson was just trying to throw down the field instead of using his legs more. I felt he should have used his legs more in that game. That was the same thing we saw with Filipowski. He was trying to play. I mean, I'm surprised he was trying to play DJ Horn's game.
I'm surprised he didn't try to stretch DJ Burns out. Pause, because like Filipowski is like he can shoot the 3. Like I mean, and the game against James Madison, he was shooting
got
that
frustrated.
ball. Like,
that's why.
But John, you put that up.
Oh man, I mean, I thought that was just a great comparison. I know you're a Ravens fan. That wasn't the reason. That wasn't the reason I brought it up though.
But y'all get my point. Like the keys to like the victory for every team that has a big man is get that or get that main player in foul trouble. Like get in their head. And like when the first, is there a game like today or tomorrow?
No, they play Saturday.
They all play Saturday, like men's and women.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna miss it because I'm gonna be at a baby shower, so I'm gonna miss the Final Four.
What time is the Final Four?
At 3 when the baby shower starts at 3. It's 3 here on the West Coast.
It's
6 o'clock East Coast time.
Oh wait, nah. I work 8
no, it's 6 o'clock your time. It's 6 o'clock.
It'll be 6 o'clock here in the East.
Yeah, it'll be 6 o'clock where you guys.
You're out.
I'm in Southern California, so it'll be 3 o'clock and the baby shower starts at 3.
So the game starts at 6 on Eastern time.
Yeah.
So I'll probably get home with some time. I work 8 to 5. So
I'll figure it out though. I got a phone, so I'll find a way to watch it.
But so let's go to the NFL and then NBA. So obviously, Stefon Diggs going to the Texans. I mean, did that shock you guys? I mean, did you see him going to the Houston Texans, or did you see him playing?
That's the only part that shocked me. Is he went to Houston. I'm not shocked. Buffalo moved him.
I thought they could have moved because of the contract.
No, you can move anybody. You just got to be creative.
You can go to the Ravens, man. But I'm surprised, I mean, no teams were like knocking down, maybe behind the scenes there was some teams that were like calling for him, but but did you like? I was gonna say maybe at least one more year with Josh Allen. I mean, because he's going to he's going for like a second year. I'm not going to say that CJ Stroud. He's a good quarterback, but he went to from top 5, top 10 quarterback to a second year quarterback. Like obviously, I love what Houston's doing. They got Joe Mixon. Now they add Stefon Diggs. Tank Dell's coming back healthy. I mean, I like what they're doing.
I would take Houston's roster over Buffalo's right now.
Man, Houston has the best receiver room in the NFL. Yeah. You can make that argument now with Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Robert Woods, the former Ram, and now you add Stefon Diggs to the mix. That catapults this team
on paper. On paper, it's good, man. On paper, it's good.
That catapults this team into the AFC South. Like they're gonna take it this year. I think they take the AFC South. I think they're gonna make a lot of noise this year. I talked about it. I think
they should. They should win that division. They better win that division.
Should win that division. I think they will. But like I said, I
was about to say the comment. Yeah, Dalton Schultz too. Like, don't sleep on him. He's a big part of that.
What this did?
Schultz, yeah.
What this did? This catapulted them to now the very top of the AFC South. Point blank.
Wait, I think AFC South. You saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I thought you meant AFC South. My bad.
South,
All right, cool.
Oh
AFC
yeah.
South,
gotcha.
It elevates them in the AFC landscape too.
It really does. It elevates them. Yeah. It makes them an actual contender because look, you got this bona fide star quarterback in CJ Stroud, who, by the way, is from Southern California. He's from Rancho Cucamonga. That's in the Inland Empire, by the way. And you got him, and you got Joe Mixon. I think this team is nice. I think this team is set up nicely. I think this team is going to be a threat in the AFC for years to come. And I think this team is determined to make a run now while they can. Because, look, CJ Stroud has a team-friendly contract right now. You know, he's on a rookie contract. So now is your time to build around him. You get a guy like Stefon Diggs, and you can make a run while you still can. Make a run while you're not paying a lot for your quarterback, and I just think Houston is going to be that team that a lot of the teams are going to have to deal with. It's going to be fun to watch because, look, we saw what they did a year ago. And a lot of people even picked them to win in the playoffs. Remember, a lot of people picked them. They didn't pick them to lose. They were favorites to win. Imagine now with Stefon Diggs on the team. I think this team is set up better than Buffalo. When you look at it on my paper, at least, and DeMeco Ryans comes in and he establishes a new culture and takes a team that was only had 4 wins in the prior year, and they get to the playoffs. I mean, that's impressive stuff. I mean, that doesn't happen every day. I mean, it's a quick turnaround for this Houston Texans team. And if you're a Texans fan, what a time to be alive because, man, let me tell you, you got a team that is about to do some damage in the AFC.
Yep.
So I guess the Bills plan on hitting big in the draft area. I feel like a lot of teams are waiting for the draft and after the draft. Like we saw like the first wave of players like Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones. Hasn't really been much noise because teams draft is picking up. A lot of trades might happen. Giants might trade up to get a quarterback. I know my cousin's in the chat, Michael. He's a Giants fan, so I heard they might move up and get Drake
most
May.
of the desirable free agents have been taken. The guys who are left are left for a reason.
But I mean, then again, some people can get cut because teams are going to make their roster moves and everything. So a lot of players can get cut and they're going to be back on the market. So that's why teams have kind of been – because, I mean, even as a Ravens fan, Eric DeCosta is really known for, 1, drafting well, and then 2, finding players that are kind of young in their prime, but then their prime, and picking them up. And so that's – I tip my hat, like – in the past, we got PQ, Patrick Queen. We got his replacement and Trenton Simpson. We got Zay Flowers. So we've gotten good players. That's why Ravens fans are like in a tight little freezer right now because we're like, oh, all these players are getting good players. But I think we're waiting to see who's going to fall to us. See if we're going to move up or move down. That's why teams have. I mean, Xavier Howard's on the market. So a lot of good players are on the market, but a lot of the good players have been signed already. But there's going to be cuts. There's going to be people who don't make the roster. So there's going to be a lot of teams, a lot of spots open. Wait, so John, who's your NFL team? Who do you follow? The Rams?
I'm a Rams fan. Yeah. Yeah, I like the Rams. I like what we did with our secondary. We got Trey Davius White now. We got him in the secondary. We're nice now in that secondary. I think that was an area we had to strengthen. We got old boy from Washington too. Curl. We got him too in the secondary.
I'm trying to think of who you're talking about.
Yeah, look him up.
Yeah, let me look him
And we got somebody else big in our secondary too. We loaded up in that secondary, which I thought was the weakest part of our defense, was one of the weakest areas of our defense. So I like what they did there. Matthew Stafford's gonna be back with the team. You got Kyron Williams now, who's doing his thing at running back. You know, I like him. He's nice. So I think the Rams are going to be in contention, and then you still got Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, who just had a breakout rookie season, man. This guy came out of nowhere and, surprised everybody. So I like what the Rams are doing. I like the direction that the team is going in. Did you look it up, Kyle?
Yeah, I was looking at their transactions. I mean, they got Jonah Jackson for the line. That's going to be good.
Yeah.
They got Kobe Parkinson, the tight end.
Yeah.
That's not a bad move.
That's not a bad move. That, to me, that's a solid move. So I like the moves they made. I think I'm always confident in Les Snead because he does an amazing job as a general manager.
What was the question?
So yeah, we're gonna be nice. The thing with White though, knowing his history in Buffalo, can he stay healthy?
Yeah. Yeah, if he's on the field, he's a legit corner.
Yeah, he is. He really is. But if he's out, there's not much he can do for you. So
right.
So like, do y'all think with like? Because, I mean, I don't know what the Bills' receiving core is. I think it's like Dalton Kincaid at the tight end. Do you think that Allen's going to take a step back? Because, I mean, like Kyle said, there's really no receivers on the market. I mean, Gabe Davis is gone.
If Josh Allen is that guy, he will elevate certain guys in the receiver room. Now, obviously, there's only a certain amount you can elevate guys, but he'll have to find ways to win. I think for Buffalo, there were times where he would lock in on Stefon Diggs too much at the detriment of, the offense and him making the right play. I think this was just a situation where ownership looked at, Stefon Diggs, the Josh Allen, the Gabe Davis core, and realized there's only so far this is going to go. They let Gabe Davis go. Gabe Davis would have 10 catches one game. Then he'd go 4 weeks where you don't even remember him being out in the field. So the inconsistency with him, they had to move on from him. I think with Diggs last year, where Diggs started becoming vocal and seemingly like a distraction, I think Buffalo realized, let's just do away with that. This is supposed to be a pretty good wide receiver draft. They'll probably take a couple of shots in the draft at bringing guys in, because I think their number one right now is probably, I think they have Mac Hollins or something on that team, which Mac Hollins is a number 3 at best. And like Mo said, they do have James Cook, so maybe this is just them going more to a running game, which I've said for years, Buffalo doesn't utilize running backs at all. And Cook is talented, so they can hand it off to him. Kincaid is a good tight end. Maybe that's what you do. You feature Kincaid in the passing game. It works for Mahomes. He features Travis Kelce. So maybe they're going to try to emulate that and then just get some guys on the outside who, maybe bring some speed or really good route runners. And you can find those in the draft. I was about to look up who their wide receivers are, because I think they have Mac Hollins. I think that's the one I remember, but Mac Hollins isn't going to get you anywhere. Curtis Samuel. They have Curtis Samuel. I forgot about that. But Curtis Samuel is, I don't know. Like, he was kind of built up as like a Deebo Samuel type. I don't think he ever really reached that level. Like, he's decent, but I don't know if he should necessarily be your number 2 wide receiver. So they'll definitely get one in the draft. Probably 2. I mean, I picked Buffalo to miss the playoffs last year anyway. I'm going to do the same thing this year.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Allen, I mean, like maybe they might get some players in the draft, some receivers, because a lot of receivers are, I think it's gonna be quarterback heavy, defensive O lineman kind of first couple rounds, more quarterbacks because you got Drake May, you got Caleb Williams, you have who is the
Jaden Daniels.
Oh, Jaden, there you go, Jaden Daniels. They're probably gonna go off the board early, and then you got the O lineman. Then you got the receivers. You got the receiver from Texas, Keon Coleman from FSU. Got so you got a lot of good good receivers, but definitely next show. When's the draft? April 27th, I think. April 26th.
That's the end of the month.
Late April, yeah.
It's like 3 weeks.
Probably in a couple of shows, we're gonna do a mock draft. It's gonna be fun. John, you might have to stop by, do a mock draft.
Yeah, I'm down to stop by for sure. Definitely.
Are you like a football guy? Do you like all
Hell yeah.
Football? Okay.
Yeah. I cover everything. I cover the big 3: NBA.
I forgot you're the sports judge, man.
And
sports
NBA.
Judge. Okay, got you.
I mean, on NBA a little bit because I've been so focused in all the NFL stuff this offseason, and I've been talking a lot about women's basketball and the college basketball, and then now MLB's back, so I've been, getting into that as well. You see how weird California is? Now it's starting to rain.
Yeah, but yeah. So before we get out of here, man, we gotta talk about NBA. Got a couple more seasons or games left in the season. It's down the bottom of the standings. A lot of the playing teams trying to get in. I think Golden State plays Houston. I think either today or tomorrow. And Draymond said they're going to end their season. So I don't see how they can when they're 2 games behind them. Or had to get behind them, but I know me and John are both Lakers fans. So how we feeling, man? We're 9-8 in our last 10 games. Or
I'm feeling good that they've won games, that they have put together some wins, but I don't know how I feel about them going in the playoffs because you still got to go through teams like the Denver Nuggets. You still got to go through teams like the Sacramento Kings, right? And we all know what De'Aaron Fox can do to the Lakers, right? He loves playing against the Lakers, and every time he plays against the Lakers, he tears them up. The Lakers have no answer for him. So, yeah, we could probably get in the playoffs, but I don't see us going very far in the playoffs. Especially if you got to play every other night. There's nights that Anthony Davis and LeBron James need 2 nights off, to catch their breath and to get back in action. So I don't know how I'm really feeling about this Laker team. And then there's times that their shooting is cold, that they're not playing consistently. And that's the concern with the Lakers, right? Teams they're beating lately, they're not very good teams. Let's just be honest, they're not very good teams. It's not like you're playing the Denver Nuggets or you playing the Sacramento Kings or you playing the Dallas Mavericks. It's not like you're playing high level competition. Yes, you're playing against teams, but it's not high level competition. So while it's impressive, it's not all that impressive, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I'm not that high on the Lakers as a Laker fan personally, because I know that they'll go into the playoffs and they could likely lose. Even a young OKC team can beat the Lakers in a best-of-7 series. Let's just be honest.
Yep. Looking at the run they're on, because Jonathan brought up they haven't really beat really great teams. So they beat the Hawks. Okay. They beat the Sixers, still without Joel Embiid. They beat the Pacers, which that's a good win. But the Pacers have been kind of up and down. But the Pacers can score, so that I'll give them that. That's a good win. They beat the Bucks, who, under Doc Rivers, the Bucks have been disappointing. They beat the Grizzlies. They lost to the Pacers again. Then they beat the Nets, Raptors, and Wizards. So this is the part of their schedule that they were supposed to load up on with wins to kind of hold off Houston. That Houston has been on a nice little run here. So, yeah, they're probably going to be a play-in team. The biggest thing is they're 17-21 on the road. I don't see how you can be confident with a team that doesn't play well on the road when they're not going to have home court advantage in any of the rounds of the playoffs.
Right.
So, unless they flip that switch and all of a sudden become a good road team, then I'm kind of with Jonathan here. I don't see why anybody should think they're going to go deep into the playoffs. And their defense, look, outside of Anthony Davis is the only dude on the Lakers I trust defensively, because I've seen their perimeter defense be lackluster. Because, like you said, guys like De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, because guys like De'Aaron Fox, the reason why they do so well against the Lakers is, who are the Lakers going to put on him to slow him down? Nobody. And if he gets to the rim, that's where he can feed it to Sabonis or whoever. So if the Lakers are the 9 seed, they'll get the home game against the Warriors, but then they'll have to go on the road and face a Phoenix or Sacramento. I don't know how you would feel confident in them winning that game on the road just to get to the 8 seed and possibly face Denver in round 1. So I don't think there's.
How did the play-in work? So it's like the.
So the Lakers are 9. They would host Golden State in the first game.
Okay.
And then the Lakers would have to go on the road to face whoever loses the 7-8 game to win the 8 spot.
And if you're a Lakers, trust me, you don't want to play. You don't want to get a play-in, because that's too much. Then you get the play-in game, and then you got to go right into the next series. Right. And knowing how they are, they don't. They need rest and all this other stuff. They're not going to get rest going into the next series.
How far are we from getting out of the play-in? Are we kind of far? Or are we?
I don't see them getting out of the play-in.
Yeah, they're a play-in team.
They're a play-in team.
Once again, LeBron hated the play-in. I just can't see it, and that's his best bet into the playoffs.
Right. So now you're gonna have tired bodies going into the next series, because the play-in, right after play-in, you go into the next series. That doesn't benefit the Lakers at all.
Yeah. Actually, they're a game and a half behind Phoenix for the 6th spot, so it's not unheard of for them to catch them, but they'd have to jump Sacramento and the Pelicans as well.
I don't see that.
That's the tough part.
You have to jump.
If they were a 7 seed, I'd be like, it's possible. But now you have to hope for teams in front of them to lose for them to jump over them, and that's where it gets tricky.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I mean, we have so our last couple games are Cleveland. Timberwolves is tough.
Cleveland's
Warriors,
a mess. Cleveland's a mess right now.
It's a W.
Right, yeah, did you hear what Donovan Mitchell says? He said it's April. He said he basically came out and said it's April and we got to get our shit together.
Yeah,
that's basically what he came out and said. It sounds like a very frustrated. It sounds like a guy that's very frustrated right now.
Yep.
Yeah, we have Cleveland, Minnesota, Golden State, then Memphis, and then Pelicans. So I mean, it's a very winnable schedule. AD has been going off. Austin Reeves has been doing this thing. And I'm not sure if we're getting not Gabe Davis. I don't think we're getting that point guard back this year. Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent.
He came back the other night and gave it a go, but then disappeared again.
At this point, I wouldn't rely on him.
Right. You can't rely on him.
Yeah.
So it is what it is with the Lakers, and they're in the current state that they are because they didn't play their best brand of basketball until late in the season, and there were spurts where they couldn't compile any wins, where they weren't winning games consistently, and that's been the Lakers all season, up and down, up and down, up and down. It's hard to really identify the Lakers, and we don't really know who they are. I don't think they know who they are themselves.
Right. Yeah. All right, fellas. Did we miss anything today, man? I think we covered every.
USC basketball hires Eric Musselman from Arkansas.
Yeah,
USC.
I saw that. Yeah.
That's a good hire. I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video or something.
Oh, Julius Randle.
Julius Randle is done. Yep. Heard about that today.
The Knicks they're doing good. I mean, they should make the playoffs. They shouldn't be a playing team. So yeah. But yeah. I mean, any other like final thoughts? Any final thoughts? We'll go with Kyle first.
I mean, not really, except for. Yeah, I don't know. Like this last little stretch of the NBA season, I feel like a lot of teams kind of have an idea of where they're going to be. It's all going to be about positioning, especially for playing teams. Trying to look at who they could possibly match up with in the first round. They're trying to set themselves up, and I honestly don't know if we'll get any playing teams really upsetting any top seeds this year. So I think it's kind of going to be one and done for the playing teams. Because I was going to ask you really quickly, like for you, both of you being Lakers fans, like who are you hoping they face in the first round?
Wait, so I had a question. So if
it wouldn't really matter who they face in the first round, because whoever they face in the first round will be a tough opponent regardless.
But people forget that the Lakers were in the Eastern or Western Conference Finals.
Last year is different than this year.
That's not happening this year, especially with Darvin Ham running a 3-guard lineup, which I never understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jordan,
I'm a Laker fan, but I'm just keeping it real too. I just don't see them doing much of anything.
Jordan, if you think they could put together another run, who would they beat in the first round?
Well, who would be the options?
So their potential opponents would be Minnesota, Denver, and probably Oklahoma City.
I'd rather go with Oklahoma because they're young.
Why?
I mean, why not? I mean, I wouldn't want to face Denver.
Okay, so Jonathan talked about how De'Aaron Fox does work against the Lakers. You want to test that defense against an SGA?
SGA, isn't he hurt right now?
SGA will be back for the playoffs.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't want to face OKC either.
I wouldn't want to face. I mean, is Cat hurt still?
I wouldn't want to face them. Not at all. I wouldn't want to face the Pelicans either. Not when they have CJ McCollum in the backcourt that could light them up.
Yeah, I mean,
just saying.
I don't know, man. I mean, wait. So if we win the first playing game, then we lose. Are we out?
Yep.
Yes.
The Lakers will have to win 2 playing games to make the playoffs.
Oh.
So even with that second playing game could be the Pelicans or the Kings. That's 2 tough matchups for the Lakers right there.
So you're saying we're like 2.5 games or a half game from the 6th spot?
So you're a game and a half behind the Suns and the Pelicans.
Suns are acting odd.
Yeah, the Suns are definitely unpredictable. Like I said, the only issue is you'd have to jump the Kings and the Pelicans to get to 6. So you have to hope for 3 teams to kind of fall off for the Lakers to move up. And with only 7-8 games left, that's a lot to ask. It's possible.
I mean, Sacramento, they played next. The Celtics broke. They have a hard stretch. And then that Phoenix game, they played Phoenix second last game of the season. I mean, do you think the Celtics will bench their key player that game?
The
Knowing that they
Celtics
have,
don't have anything to play for.
that's what I'm saying. Like, do you think they'll bench their players against the Kings that game?
Probably not, only because Tatum and Brown are gamers. Like, Tatum wants to play, Jaylen Brown wants to play. They'll probably play less minutes, but they'll probably play. Although Missoula's going to sit them out certain games for sure, because they've already locked up the number 1 seed overall. They've locked up the number 1 seed in the East, so there's nothing left to prove.
Yeah. All right, fellas. Well, that was definitely a good show. I have to get out of here myself. So yeah, it was definitely a good episode. Thanks for coming on, the sports judge.
Thanks,
or
fellas.
the sports punisher. I don't know what I should call you, man.
Thanks for having me. It was awesome.
For sure, man.
I had a lot of fun today.
For sure. But yeah, if you don't have anything else to say or any final thoughts, we can head on out of here. So definitely like and subscribe to the channel. Definitely support Jonathan and Kyle's shows as well. Talking about the bit, I think the sports judge. Give them a follow. And also show love to this channel too, man. So all right, with that being said, we are out of here.
Yep.